Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Content Systems for Growth podcast. I'm Michelle Dewey, and I'm really glad you're here with me today. This episode is going live on December 31st, which feels like such a natural pause point. But by
Mhm.
now, you may have spent time planning, you may have prayed through your year ahead, and you may have clarity around what you're saying yes to and what you're intentionally releasing in the new year. But here's the question I want you to sit with today. Can you actually see the goals that you committed yourself to? Because having a vision is one thing, staying aligned with it, especially once real life starts to move again, that's where women start to feel scattered. Today, I want to talk about visually tracking your goals, not as a productivity trick, but as a way to stay grounded, aligned, and honest with yourself as the year unfolds ahead. It's easy to get distracted from our goals once the day to day of business and family life kicks in. Your emails pile up, your client work takes priority, content gets pushed aside, and before you know it, you're wondering why you feel off again. Visual goal tracking helps you bring back to center. This isn't about hustling harder, it's about not doing more. And it's definitely not about creating another system that you're not going to use. Visually tracking simply keeps what matters in your line of sight. So when you see your goals regularly, you start to notice things sooner. When fear is creeping in, when perfectionism is slowing you down, when you're drifting from what you actually committed to. That awareness is so powerful. One of the simplest ways that I visually track my goals over the years is something called the chalkboard method. And I've talked about this in the past too. The idea is simple. You write your main commitments somewhere where you can see them every single day. For me, that's a chalkboard in my office. It's positioned so it's the first thing I see when I walk into my office. And now, how I have my office arranged, I can just look to the side and actually see it too. I don't write a long list. I don't write my tasks. I just write clear commitments to myself. That's it. That's all I have. But and notes for my children. But what I love about this method is it doesn't let you hide. When your goals are physically in front of you, you can't pretend you forgot all about them. You can't ignore when you're avoiding them and not working towards them. And something I didn't expect when I first started doing this, my family can see my goals too. I truly believe it's a gift for your children to watch us work towards something meaningful, wrestle with it, and actually keep following through and pushing through and not giving up. If you don't have space for a chalkboard, and don't overthink it, a whiteboard, a piece of paper, or even a few sticky notes in a visible place work just as well. The point isn't the tool, it's the visibility. And if you prefer something digital, Notion can be a great place for those visual goal tracking to take place as well, as long as you keep it simple. I don't use Notion to track everything. I use it as a home base. So one place, one page, one clear focus, that 111 I've talked about before. And Notion, I keep a simple alignment page that includes my main focus for the year, the one primary goal for the current quarter, and a short reminder of why that goal matters to me. Sometimes it's an image, sometimes it's a word, sometimes it's a sentence that brings me back to center. This page isn't about managing your tasks, it's about staying aligned with your focus and where you're going. When I check in with it regularly, it becomes a gentle mirror. It shows me where my daily decisions are matching what I say I want to do. As I've been working through my own 2026 planning and strategy for the upcoming year, visual goal tracking has played a big role in helping me get honest about what actually fits into my life. I didn't just look at what I could do next year, I looked at what I was called to do and what supports the kind of business and life that I want to lead. When I made space to really see my goals, not just write them down, but keep them visible, it becomes clear that something needs to shift. Not because they weren't working, not because I couldn't keep up, not because I don't love creating content, but because I want to build something more sustainable and more in alignment with myself. That clarity has shaped the direction of my services. It shaped how I support my clients and it shaped how I approach content for myself. One decision that came out of that clarity is shifting this podcast to be 2 episodes a month versus weekly. And I'm going to release those on the second and fourth Wednesdays. This isn't a step back for me. I don't view it that way. It's a step into intention. Like I intentionally made that decision. It gives me the space to create deeper, more thoughtful episodes, serve my clients well, and focus on content that has a longer life instead of chasing constant output. I'm sharing this with you because this is exactly what visual goal tracking makes possible. It helps you notice when something no longer fits the season you're in, and it gives you permission to choose alignment over volume. Will I go back to weekly episodes? I don't know. I'm going to see how I like doing just 2. For a long time, I used the mantra that business is easy when I take messy and perfect actions. I still love that mantra. But when it comes to understanding is that it was never about forcing myself to do more. It was about being honest with myself, honest about fear, honest about perfection, honest about where I was hiding instead of actually serving. When I stopped to focus on how things looked and started focusing on who I was called to help, everything shifted. Taking imperfect action doesn't make things harder, it makes things clearer. Committing to goals is hard. Following through on goals is hard. Remember, you get to pick your hard, but staying stuck year after year, that's the hardest thing to do. Visual goal tracking gives you a compass. It helps you notice when fear distracts or overcommitments start pulling you off course. As you head into the new year, I want you to ask yourself, can you see what you say yes to? Is your system supporting you or quietly pressuring you? Do you need fewer goals or better support? You don't need more willpower. You need clarity and the courage to stay aligned with your goals. I believe in you, friend, and I'm really grateful you spent this time with me today. And I'm so thankful that you made it all the way to the end of this episode. I appreciate you. I hope you make it a wonderful week, and I'll see you here back next time. Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.